Hi, Father Ian Van Heusen here. So I just kind of wanted to do a follow-up video after Jonathan Anderson, who had done a podcast with Catholic creatives about art, modern art, and its relationship with religion, theology, and spirituality. And you can look on my YouTube channel. There was a response I had, which he responded very favorably to, and I really do appreciate that response. Thanks, Jonathan, for that response. And in the comments going back and forth, I made the claim that at first I want to kind of backtrack a little bit. He gave a definition of art, which he talked about art as instituting a kind of conversation or opening a conversation. And that's one of the essential qualities of art. Now, I think we could look at, when I said, and then I said in the comment sections, I felt like his definition was a little bit insufficient. Now, I just wanted to visit this because I've been thinking about it a little bit lately. I think, I think when Thomas Aquinas and when the great saints, and I always think of St. Thomas Aquinas, I got made fun of this for this in seminary. So I tend to think of everything through to a mystic lens. When Thomas seeks to define things, he sees it kind of as layers building on. So let's give the example of love, which I'm looking at right now. Love is an emotion. It's also a movement of the rational intellect. And then there's divine love. And they kind of all build on each other. And at first, with Jonathan's definition of art as being that which instills a conversation, I was a little bit skeptical. But then I started to realize there is kind of a way to baptize this or to even see it in a larger spiritual or transcendental or metaphysical sense. So how would I kind of do this? Well, Adrian von Speyer and other theologians see at the heart of the divinity, at the heart of God, is prayer and a conversation between the three persons of the Trinity. Now, of course, this is a divine conversation. It's not simply a conversation like we have, but it is a genuine exchange between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And in a certain sense, our conversations are built on that. Our need for communion, our need for relationship is built on the reality that God is himself relations of three persons. So I was thinking about, I was like, well, okay, within this sense, we could see art as a kind of opening into that divine conversation. Even if the conversation is very much natural and of this world, it builds upon our relationality. It expresses that relationality. So I was thinking, okay, maybe not completely critical of Jonathan Anderson's definition, but where I think it could use some work is that Aristotle and Thomas Aquinas would give a different definition of art versus techne or technical craftsmanship versus art. And maybe I'm getting that a little bit wrong, but I think maybe we could do a little bit more work blending Jonathan Anderson's definition of art with a more Aristotelian Thomistic perspective. But I think it was a good effort. I think I definitely want to continue the conversation. And I might have to reach out to Jonathan Anderson to kind of have this conversation because I'm doing a podcast now. We're all doing podcasts now. But at the very least, I'm glad we had this conversation in Catholic Creatives. And I thank you so much, Jonathan, for reaching out and responding to our questions and concerns. So God bless.